Exploring Jamaica's economic challenges amidst surprising statistics and societal impacts.
Intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. And this is so true because you come across people that tell you that they're die-hearted, they're loyalist. And for some of those people, it's difficult to get a break. If you notice, I didn't say it's impossible. It's just difficult because they're hell-bent on advocating for their position. And again, it goes to, are you listening to understand? Or are you waiting to understand? Or are you waiting to speak? And a lot of those people, they wait to speak. It doesn't matter what you say. But there are ways to get to those people. And for the ones that seemingly we cannot get through to, we're exploring ways to get to them. And at the same time, we're open to being criticized because we say to people, look, if you think we're wrong, please point out the errors of our ways and we'll do the right thing. But you have some folks that's just difficult to get through to. And as it says, those are the people that in the end, they will not survive. And when I say not survive, I'm not talking about terms of a life. Oh, Ubuntu said dumb, dark, and stupid. We never put up that one, okay? We have to look for that one there. Now, this one is quite interesting. It says, Hannah Arendt warned us in her work, The Origins of Totalitarianism, that the goal of constant lying, listen to this, people. It's another take. It's another take on people telling lies. That the goal of constant lying wasn't to persuade people to believe a specific lie, but rather to destroy their capacity to distinguish between truth and falsehood, leading to a state of complete subjugation. That is so true, if you really analyze it. You know, people constantly telling you lies, 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 lies. It's not necessarily for that one specific thing. It's to completely subdue you. When I say subdue you, have you suspend your thoughts and just believe that everything that they say is true, that you can't distinguish between truth and falsehood because you've been inundated with all these lies and it's almost as if you kind of like surrender to it. And we don't do that around here. That is not our character. It's not in our DNA. That's deep, very deep. Oh, that's me again. If you don't take an active step, you'll become a casualty of your own demise, of your own shortcomings, of your own, whatever plans you have. So you have to take an active step. And here's another one, Professor. We don't change when we see the light. These are for the ones that, will remain lost. We change when we feel the heat. So when you tell people that, listen, when you tell people that the government of Jamaica, they're not being honest with you when they talk about the economy and unemployment and all of this stuff. They say, no, look at the low unemployment rate. Look at the GDP to debt ratio. Look at this, look at that, look at that. They don't understand when you give them the reason. Say, look, the unemployment rate that they're talking about is because they changed the regulation to include more people working when they're really not working. A regular job over a long period of time. Could be just for a month. They don't listen to that. But when they start feeling the heat, when the rice can't swell, when the money can't stretch, that's when they'll change. That's when they'll say, Ratted, it was right. And today we have a video that illustrates this point like no other video. We're going to play it in a few, but let's just move on. Oh, this is what I was talking about, Professor. Students, family members, see this? We have a midterm exam, March 14th. You're going to hear it every week. So if you want to write it down now, that's fine. Write it down in your notepad. Or if not, if you can remember. But don't worry, we'll keep reminding you every week. We have a final exam on May 30th. And then summer school will start on June 6th. So I want you to remember those 3 dates. March 14th, May 30th, June 6th. If you haven't written these dates down, or if you're not in the process of writing them down, no worries. You will get them. You'll get a reminder every week. And remember now, the pop quizzes, we're not going to tell you when we're going to have those. We'll just do a lecture and then we'll just say, okay, let's go. And we'll see who have been paying, who've been paying attention. All right. So let me move that and just quickly get on with the program here now. Anything you want to say, Professor, before I move on?
I want to answer Megawatt's question. Is there an age limit for this university? Yes, there is. That age that you can no longer count to. But once you can count to it, you're eligible to be in this university.
Yeah. As long as there's life, you can attend. The only time you can't come, the only time you won't be a part of this university is when you've transitioned. That's the only time. You can come anytime. Take a look at this, people.
Perplexed by the answer that was given by the minister. The Act says that no tax shall be levied on these persons' salary and emoluments. So they're exempt from tax. So the question is, why are more senior employees exempt, hourly paid workers or not? You said it has to do with something to do with filing a tax return. Just explain that for me, please. Because if they're exempt, I don't know, why they'd be filing unless they had other sources of income. But the real question was, why would the better paid employees not pay any tax, and the hourly paid workers would have to bear a tax? That was the question.
So the Articles of Agreement, Madam Speaker, with specific reference to Section 9, addresses immunities from taxation, which precludes the bank from collecting taxes on behalf of TAG. This is similar to embassies, consulates, and other international organizations, and thus the bank does not have any obligation to collect and remit PAYE, ed tax contributions on behalf of its employees. So, again, to repeat, the employees of the bank are deemed to be self-employed for the purposes of administering the Income Tax Act and are required to file individual income tax return.
Madam Chairman, the wording of the provision before us says that no tax shall be levied on their salaries or emoluments paid by the bank. That would exempt that from tax. Not to say that the bank is precluded from having to withhold like a PAYE person. That's a different matter. If the intention is that they should file their own returns and are liable to tax on their salaries like all other Jamaicans, this is not achieving that. This is doing the reverse. This is making their pay tax-free, which is apparently not the intention. I think we should suspend the debate on this and take advice. It's a serious matter.
You muted, Provost.
Sorry, what do you think about that?
I think somebody not too sure of the information that they're giving. And I'd really want someone to make it make sense. I'm not there experiencing it, but who exactly won't need to pay a tax? Which of these?
There's a regulation. What it's saying is that the higher paid employees of the bank, their salaries are tax exempt. The lowest paid workers, they have to pay taxes. And so he's asking, why is that the case in this bill or whatever they're discussing? And
Right.
she couldn't answer. This lady, go ahead.
It's not that she couldn't answer for anything. I believe she really couldn't answer because morally she was struggling. Because when you read it, when you see it, you think one thing. You say it out of your mouth and realize you can't take it back, and you realize something else. And then somebody else repeats it to you, then it really registers. What I just said really doesn't make sense to a growing economy. It tell me where this makes sense. People at the top who can afford it don't have to do it, but the people who are struggling have to do it, although they can't manage it. Make it make sense. So who does it benefit?
Right. And that's one of the things he was trying to impart upon her. People, it's a shame. We keep saying it and we keep seeing the deterioration of this lady in front of our very eyes. We're witnesses to this. She's unprepared. And I don't know why she shows up unprepared, especially given the importance of her ministry of finance. Without the Ministry of Finance, there's no government. And she's central to everything that goes on. And she shows up and she's constantly unprepared. And people have said to me that there's something wrong. There's something going on there with her. I make no pretense of being a medical person. I'm not. So I can only convey to you what people in the medical profession have said to me. They've said that there's something going on there. The one thing I will say is this, that at the very least, she seems unprepared when she comes to these hearings. She should be at the top of her game. Remember, this is a finance person. No, you're not talking about a square peg in a round hole, even though it's becoming apparent. That's what it is. And it's a shame because she's highly qualified. She keeps showing up and referring to things of which she has no explanation for. She can't explain these things. And she's referring, if you had said to her, could you please explain to me in layman's terms what you just read? I don't know if she'd be able to do it. I really don't. And that's distressing.
Provost.
And also concerning.
You mentioned how her qualifications and how qualified she is. And this is not a stab at her. Generally speaking, you have qualified and you have application of qualification. You can get all the qualifications there are in the world. If A, you don't know how to apply it, or B, you choose not to apply it, then you end up seeing yourself out because that don't make sense. It's a waste of time.
Correct. But, enough said. It's just painful, people. It's painful to watch. Painful. As bad as and as much as we criticize former Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, we have to admit that he would show up prepared. Even if you disagree with him, though, he would make a point and you could disagree with him. But here, there's no point being made. So we don't even know what to make of this ministry, and we don't know what to make of this lady. We don't. It's sad. All right, let me move on. I think, you know what, Kevin? Let's play this video and then we'll get into something else. Let's play this video. People say, oh, but they never say anything good about Jamaica. It's always something bad. No, we're critical of the Jamaican government. We're critical of the Jamaican government. The achievement of Jamaicans, we extol those virtues. We applaud those achievements. We do. And here is one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor-elect. It's an honor to be here and stand before you as the next New York City Schools Chancellor. For over 2 decades in the New York City public school system, I've had the privilege of serving at every level, from teacher to principal to superintendent, across the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. Yes, I love the city. With the mayor-elect, my man, Mr. Mamdani, we will fully fund public schools. We will invest in recruiting and retaining educators, especially in special education, bilingual education, math, and science. So every child has a teacher qualified and supported.
All right. Now, let me just say something about that gentleman, Kamar Samuels. We are excited. We're proud. We're just beyond ourselves that in celebrating his achievement. This is a young man who has worked hard. And by the way, Pauline said, Pauline, you're a bisonet. So them call it bisonet, Howard University. Congratulations. I went to Howard too. So, but yeah, we're very happy about Kamar, and he's going to be successful. He's put in place. I've dug into his background, and he's come up with a bunch of initiatives that have benefited New York City school children. There was one in the Bronx where he combined 2 schools. One was like an elite school, and one had few black students. And he came up with a plan to merge both of them, and it's working. It's working magnificently. What I'd like to do is just make a little comparison. Here it is. Big up yourself, production team. Kamar Samuels, a Jamaican-born educator who attended Jamaica College in Kingston before migrating to the U.S. In the U.S., he earned a degree in accounting from Baruch. Actually, he started out at, I think, the Bronx Community College, a 2-year college, and then he went on to Baruch. And he later earned a master's in education, then spent over 20 years in New York City public schools, rising from teacher to principal. You heard him, district superintendent. And he was appointed chancellor of the New York City Department of Education starting January 1st, leading the largest public school system in the United States. Come on, hold on, Kevin. Me have to reach, man. Big up yourself, Kamar, and big up JC, and big up all of the teachers responsible, and your parents, and your community, and your church if you went to church. But everyone who had a hand in getting you to where you are now, we salute them. Now here is the comparison. Unlike our Minister of Education, Dana Morris Dixon, though she's qualified, she's qualified as what? As a policy and management leader based on her resume. She's not a career educator who has run schools or in classroom. That distinction matters, especially in a system like Jamaica's, where teacher morale is fragile and classroom conditions are poor. Practical, ground level knowledge is critical. She doesn't have it. Neither did the lady we just showed you on the video, Minister Favor Williams. And I wonder if you notice the difference in the two systems, the Jamaica system and the system that Kamar is taking over. Of course, some of our brightest in the diaspora bring valuable expertise, but it's largely ignored if you say you want to come back to Jamaica, despite what they say. You want to come back to Jamaica, despite what they say. They say, I want to come back and I want to do some things. And we have educators here that I know personally who would love to go back. And it would be a sacrifice for them, but they would love to go back and make a contribution. And they've been rebuffed, or they don't make it attractive for these people to come back. There are impediments, there are roadblocks. And so They just said no. So, Kumar, again, to you and all of the people who have supported you to get to where you are, I salute. All right. People, here's what we're going to do now. We have a video I'd like to show, and I want to show it now because it's going to set the tone for the rest of the subjects. The problem is that we got it from YouTube. It's from a Nigerian comedian. It's a skit, but it's going to illustrate a lot of the points we want to make. We're playing it now as a measure of caution. We don't want to play it later on in the program because we may get a strike. We did reach out to his folks to try and get permission. We're only playing 5 minutes of it, but I need you to watch this. Laugh if you will, because there are jokes in here. But while you're laughing, I need you to think about the points being made and their application. First, their identification and then their application to the Jamaican situation. I need you to do, let me just move Kimar and oops, sorry. Let me just move Kimar and bring it. Hold on. Where is it? I don't see it here, Kevin. Help me out there, Kevin. I don't see it. You see it?
All right, go on. We'll come back to it. Let me get it for you again.
Yeah, it was in the group chat.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably up here, but we have so many things up here. It's hard for me to see what's going on. All right. While we're waiting for that to come, let me play this. Let's play this.
Been getting donations from various governments. I want to highlight donations from the Chinese government. That has been very good to us. I want to commend the government of China and the people of China for sending their hospital ship. I was not able to go and visit, but I saw all the reports and the ministers were very impressed. And the hundreds of people who benefited, I'm sure, are grateful. So I want to use this opportunity on behalf of the people of Jamaica to say thanks to the government of China for their support.
Let me just, while Kevin is looking for that, let me just say to the Prime Minister that be very careful what you do. Be very careful what you say. These are perilous times. People are watching. People have been watching. And you need to understand a basic tenet of diplomacy, particularly when you deal with the U.S. And it's this. The U.S. government is balancing interests, allies, and friends. And you know what comes first? Interest. Don't you ever think that by talking and calling Secretary Rubio my friend, that you have endeared yourself to him. It comes down to interest. And the moment you become disposable, the moment you have outlived your usefulness, you will understand, because I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Just keep in mind that everything you've done from the day you became responsible, it's documented someplace, everything you've done. And I repeat, once you've outlived your usefulness, you will understand. Now, folks, here is a video. I'm going to play this video. Hopefully, we don't get a strike. Kevin, keep your fingers crossed. We don't have any music in it. So, and as I said, we reached out to the gentleman and we asked for permission. So we'll acknowledge that Josh from Nigeria. I don't know how many of you are familiar with his work. I certainly enjoy his work. There's so much satire in his work. It's amazing. And then you can extrapolate from what he's doing and just superimpose it on Jamaica. And the revelation is astounding. Without further ado, listen carefully. I want you to listen carefully because we're going to analyze this. We're going to analyze it and we're going to show you why it is so important for you to remember this video and apply it to our situation in Jamaica. Here we go.
That's fine.
So, and you are the greatest mathematician
ever.
Anything.
That's a big claim.
Pythagoras theorem.
Pythagoras theorem, four-figure table, algebra.
Trigonometry.
Yeah.
Trigonometry.
4-gonometry, 5-gonometry.
All the metrics.
Oh, they've added
Metrics.
more.
Do you know I solve metrics. I solve almighty algebra.
Almighty algebra.
Almighty formula. Then with algebra, then simultaneous equation, probability.
Wow, that's
Yes.
a lot. That's a lot.
Yes.
All right, so we want to experience pausing. So, Chris, great problem for pausing.
Yes. So, are you ready? Yeah, that's how.
Yeah, this gentleman has said to the judges that he's the greatest mathematician and he has solved almighty algebra. He can do trigonometry, 4-gonometry, 5-gonometry. Just think about the things that a politician would tell you and whether or not you understand or you understood what was said to you. Pay close attention. Look beyond what's being said. Be analytical. Be critical. They're getting ready to start now the display of his competency in mathematics, being that he's the greatest mathematician ever. Here we go.
Okay, that's your ritual to begin. All right, so go.
Just clearing my truth.
Okay.
All right.
So that the mask come. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go. So, 1 + 1.
2.
2 + 2.
3, 4.
4 plus 1.
5.
5 plus 1.
6.
6 plus 1. 7 plus 1.
8.
8 plus 1.
9.
9 plus 1.
10.
Sorry, that's basic addition. I thought you were the greatest mathematician. Can we see something of
Yeah, he is, but that one is just a tip. We'll now take it to the next level now.
Yeah, this is about to get harder now.
This is one of the...
Just watch him. He will create some. Just
Are you ready now?
make it harder.
Hard one now. We're getting hard. Okay?
Sorry?
100 plus 100.
200.
200 plus 200.
400.
400 plus 400.
800.
1,000 plus 1,000.
2,000.
1 million plus 1 million.
Is that the hard math?
It's harder when I
Is
take it
this
hard.
what's happening?
So basically, what you guys have done is basic mathematics, and a 5-year-old can solve this because the first thing you did was just adding addition. You were just adding 1 to every number. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 1, 4. That's what you guys did, and now you took it to the next level, like you said, and you were doubling the numbers.
Do you know that I can solve all those maths that used to have X and Y?
Yes.
What is it called?
X mass.
Xmas.
You mean Christmas?
Christmas.
It's not
Xmas.
Xmas. The mass that has X is Xmas.
It's not called S mass. So what about the Y? Since it has Y and X, so is the Y mass or what?
It's the X and Y mass.
Oh, but you can solve it.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready? 1x plus 1x.
2SS.
What?
2x plus 2xx.
4SSS.
Hold on. 1x plus 1x is not 2xx. 1x plus 1x is 2x. That was incorrect.
Are you saying the greatest mathematician is wrong? Greatest mathematician. He
1
can't.
plus 1. 1 plus 1. Is it not 2?
Yes, 2.
X plus S, not 2. If 1S and 1S start together, it's not 2S. SS.
Yes, very correct.
Yes, now.
Sorry, is this what you came to do today? I'm trying to understand. This is how you're proving to be the best mathematician in the world?
He has been solving it.
Yeah, he has been
Solving
solving
what?
them and he's been getting them wrong. You've been doing basic mathematics. All right, I know you guys have been working together, but can we ask you the questions
Please.
to prove that you are the greatest mathematician?
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, now.
All right, are you ready? 81 divided by 9 plus 4 minus 2.
Why are you using dividing? Why are you dividing it?
Bro, kill it.
Why kill what?
Kill it.
Why is it doing divide? Why are you dividing? Why are they dividing?
But you said that you are a working calculator. This is simple board math. You said you can do every metric. Trigonometry, phonometry. You said you can solve board math. This is simple division, addition, and subtraction.
You would not say board mass when we came. You are the one that.
So what's the problem now? Is the division.
Yes, no.
So you want only addition. All right. 81 plus 9 plus 4 plus 2. You are looking for a calculator. You are the working calculator.
But I'm not working now. I'm just standing here looking at you. So it's when I'm working now.
Sorry, can you answer the question, please? Or if you cannot answer it, please kindly leave the stage.
Oh, yeah, ask it. Ask the question.
81 plus 9 plus 4 plus 2.
No.
All those plus 89 plus 4.
81 plus 9 plus 4 plus 2. It's simple.
You are wicked.
Sorry.
Plus, can you answer 89 plus?
Can I give you simple math? I'll give it for you. It seems like they're leaving. What does...
You answer it. 89 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2.
89 plus 4 is 93 plus 2.
Plus 1,000.
Sorry. Here's some quick math for you. A no plus no. What does that give you? No.
I know no.
Right? You know. Please, thank you for your time. Thank you.
Solve your 81 plus.
Folks, I mean, Pamela said it sounds like people.
Come on now.
There are so many things to be learned from that video. The politicians, they come along and they tell you they're the greatest this and they can do this and they can. And then the simple things, they're getting the simple things wrong. And then when you start to question them, they say you're wicked, or better yet, you're bad mind. So we, the professor and I, we would be on the panel asking them, saying, but you said that you're the greatest mathematician. You said you're the greatest politician, but you make all these promises, but you failed. So let's give you something that we think that you might be successful at. And then when you start questioning, or you say, let me give you some ideas. Let me tell you what you've been doing wrong. And that's when them say, you're bad mind. We haven't gotten a strike. I hope so. I hope we don't. No, here's what we're going to do. I want to play you a video. There's a method to what we're doing around here. I'm going to play you a video now. And I'm going to play you a video of things you have been told, meaning that we're the greatest politicians and we can do things and make the country prosper. And I'm going to uncover. The professor and I, we're sitting on the panel and we're going to say, but wait a minute, not so fast. What you're saying is not correct. It's not correct. And And even when it sounds correct, when you lift up the hood of the car and you look, you find out that the car looks like a sports car, looks like a Ferrari. But when you lift up the hood, what do you see? You see a lawnmower engine. Won't work. Let me show you this. And keep that video in mind. If you need us to play it again, we'll play it because that's the theme today. Here is that video. And just bear with me because I'm looking up here and we have a million videos to show. All right, here it is. Let me move this. Nope. Kevin, if you can move that one you just put up, and I'll just...
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, and I'll move this one. All right, folks, the Pro Box, Jillian. Jillian Evie, I came.
Artnell's comment is the real.
That's right. What did Artnell say?
Do you realize that there's no required education to become a politician in Jamaica?
You know what? We're hoping that the people would understand that. And that even when you're educated, it doesn't mean that you're going to be a good politician. So both things are true. And what's also true is that we need you to lift up that hood of that Ferrari to see what engine is moving this vehicle, because the vehicle has been sitting there. It's not driving. It's just sitting there parked. And it looks pretty, but we're asking you to lift up the hood and look. Here is the video. Pay close attention to this. All of the people who said that Jamaica is great, and this was before Melissa, all of the people are saying that, oh, the economy and the GDP to debt, and all of that. I want you to pay close, very, very close. If you miss everything else, if you want to leave after watching this, please watch this.
Here's a fascinating economic puzzle for you. Imagine a country that does everything the textbooks say you should do. It slashes its debt, it gets unemployment down to almost nothing. But for some reason, its people just aren't getting any richer. Well, today, we're going to unpack the Jamaican paradox. And it's this really compelling story about how a healthy economy can still leave its citizens feeling completely stuck. Okay, let's dive right into this. You know, if you just look at the data, Jamaica's economic turnaround over the last decade looks like a straight-up miracle. But here's the thing. The numbers on a government spreadsheet, they don't always tell you the whole story of what's happening on the ground. So let's start with the debt. Back in 2013, Jamaica was really on the edge, with its national debt at a truly staggering 147% of its entire economy. But through some incredible, painful fiscal discipline, they managed to chop that all the way down to just under 60%. I mean, that's the kind of turnaround that makes international financial institutions stand up and applaud. It's a textbook success. And then you look at unemployment. At just 3.5%, it's a number that most developed countries would be absolutely thrilled with. That's basically full employment. It suggests a booming economy where pretty much anyone who wants a job can get one. So the debt's under control, everybody's working, things should be great, right? Well, this is where the paradox really hits you. In spite of those fantastic headline numbers, the average Jamaican worker's paycheck just doesn't go any further than it did years ago. Sure, their wages have gone up, but the cost of everything else has gone up right alongside them, leaving them feeling like they're just running in place. And that is the mystery we're going to solve. To really get what's going on in Jamaica, it helps to have something to compare it to. And it turns out there's a perfect case study right next door, the Dominican Republic. I mean, they share a similar spot on the map, a similar history, but their economic stories, they couldn't be more different. And this table just lays it all out. First, notice the debt to GDP ratios. They're almost identical. So from that one metric, both countries look pretty responsible. But that's pretty much where the similarities stop. The Dominican Republic's economy is over 6 times bigger, and it's growing more than twice as fast. But the really critical number, the one that tells us about the wealth of the average person, is that last one, GDP per capita. And this bar chart, this just brilliantly illustrates what that gap looks like in the real world. The average person in the Dominican Republic has more than double the purchasing power of the average Jamaican. Now, that's not just a number on a chart. That's a massive, tangible difference in living standards. It proves that something fundamentally different is going on under the hood of these two economies. So, what is that fundamental difference? Well, it all comes down to a concept that economists have a name for: the productivity trap. You see, Jamaica has gotten fantastic at creating jobs, but it hasn't gotten good at creating value. Let's just break down what labor productivity means. It's simply the economic value that each worker produces. It's common sense, really. If that value goes up, a company can afford to pay its workers higher wages without having to raise its prices. But if productivity stays flat, then real wages, what you can actually buy with your money, they can't grow. And this right here is the absolute core of Jamaica's problem. And this phrase from the analysis we looked at, job rich but growth poor, is just the perfect diagnosis. The economy has created thousands and thousands of jobs in places like security services, basic retail, simple call centers. Now, these are jobs for sure, but they don't generate a lot of economic value for each person doing them. And that traps workers in a cycle of low wages. And this chart just shows you the structure of the problem. A huge 70% of the entire economy is in services, and a really big chunk of that is in these low productivity sectors. It acts like a giant anchor, just holding back the potential for real sustainable wage growth for the whole country. So the big question is, why? Why hasn't Jamaica developed more of those high-value industries like its neighbor has? Well, the analysis points to three powerful forces that are acting like these hidden taxes on the economy, making it incredibly difficult for those high-productivity businesses to ever get off the ground. And here they are, the three big constraints on growth. First, an absolutely astonishing brain drain. Second, the heavy, heavy economic cost of crime, which you can think of as a kind of security tax. And third, cripplingly high energy costs that just kill any chance at being competitive. Let's just take a quick look at each one. Okay, get ready for this number because it's almost hard to believe. Over 80% of Jamaicans with a university-level education leave the country to work somewhere else. Think about that. The country invests all this money in educating its brightest minds, only to watch them go build the economies of the US, the UK, and Canada. You just can't build high-value industries if your skilled workforce is constantly heading for the exits. Next up is that security tax. The direct cost of crime is a massive 3.5% of GDP every single year. But the indirect cost, that's maybe even worse. Businesses have to spend their money on things like fences and guards and armored trucks instead of investing that same capital in new technology or research or training, all the things that would actually boost their productivity. And finally, the competitiveness killer. Look at this chart. It's not even close. Electricity in Jamaica costs more than double what it costs in the Dominican Republic. How can you possibly run a factory or a food processing plant or any business that uses a lot of energy and hope to compete? It basically forces the economy into those less energy dependent and often less productive service jobs. So you see how this works, right? These three things, the brain drain, the crime, the energy costs, they create this vicious cycle. Low productivity leads to low wages, which causes your best talent to leave, which prevents those high-value businesses from ever starting, which, of course, keeps productivity low. So how on earth does Jamaica break free from this trap? So what's the final verdict here? Well, it's clear that getting the national budget in order was a crucial first step, but it is definitely not enough to create actual prosperity. Without a revolution in productivity, wages are just going to stay stuck. This self-reinforcing trap of high costs and brain drain has to be broken. The country really needs to shift its whole mindset from just stabilizing the economy to fundamentally transforming it. And this quote just captures the entire issue perfectly. The danger for Jamaica isn't some dramatic collapse anymore. The real danger is just settling into a permanent state of stability without prosperity, becoming a well-managed poor country. And that leaves us with a really critical question that goes way beyond just Jamaica. This whole paradox is a powerful lesson for any country, really. It forces all of us to ask, how do you build an economy that doesn't just look good on a spreadsheet, but one that genuinely feels prosperous for the people who have to live and work in it every single day?
Folks, tell me what you think about that. If you don't argue, Kevin, Professor, we're not arguing about unemployment rate. We're giving it. We're saying, you say unemployment rate is 3, 2, whatever you say it is, we agree. GDP to debt, whatever you say the GDP to debt is, we agree.
Yes.
The real question is, why aren't we prospering? And see,
people bad mind.
We haven't been asking those questions. You know, why aren't we? We listen to what the politicians say. You know, I'm the greatest mathematician. 1 + 1, 2, 2 + 1, 4, 3. We're not paying attention, people. And corruption, yes, Ms. Extent, corruption. Corruption is included in the crime, but they didn't mention it. But corruption is included in that. Cost a lot.
The security cost.
Right, that's what they call the security cost. Yeah, corruption is included. Maybe they should have said corruption, but I just took it for granted that corruption is included in there. And people just, I hope that this will resonate with some people. I know it won't resonate with everyone, but you see, if you look at this video, and it's very basic. But if you look at it and you start asking the questions, none of those politicians that are saying that the Jamaican economy is great, none of them can object or mount any kind of serious objection to the argument you'll make when you'll say, hey, brain drain, right? Crime, including corruption, and energy. They can't dispute those three. Jamaica has one of the highest electricity rates in the world. Jamaica has one of the highest murder rates in the world. Yes, you heard it. Despite what they tell you that murder is cut by 40-something%, don't believe the hype. And the brain drain is real. And in fact, listen to what, if you listen carefully to what the Prime Minister said, he said maybe we should create a cottage industry so that we can train our teachers and have them go up. He actually said that. He actually said that at a town hall meeting at JC back in 2024, I think, 2024. He actually said that with none other than Minister Favour Williams on the podium with him. He said it because one of the questions, if you recall, some of you may recall that I played a video of that town hall meeting where the head girl, Arden High School, asked a question about the attrition rate. And Minister Favour Williams couldn't answer. And then the Prime Minister stepped in. And one of the very last things he said was that maybe because our teachers are so valued, maybe we should just have an industry where we can just produce them and just have them go. Because I guess the thinking is that when they go, they'll earn and send money back home. Because you know why? We can't pay them. We're not paying them enough to keep them in Jamaica. So, Professor, your thoughts?
It's I'm cracking up reading some of these comments. Last year when they did the whole statistics and changed how the numbers are crunched, and they said to us, you can't compare it to the previous numbers because we're using a different system. And we on this program said, but why not? That should have been an indicator to many. There are some that are new to this platform, and I understand that. So seeing something like this video that was just played was very eye-opening to them. But for those who have been here for a while, you would have heard the narrative in various forms of this very thing. Yes, we put out a great report. Things look beautiful on paper. Apply it. Show me how it works. And that is where we are. We can't see where it works. Even more so, if we were in that good a position, then all this aid that we're getting now for this disaster that just happened in the western part of the country, because remember now, not the whole country was devastated by Melissa. So if we were doing that good, we should have been able to get on with our repairs long before needing to get assistance from outside. I won't even get into how this assistance is being applied and accounted for, because that's later on. We're still trying to figure that out anyway. They're still trying to figure that out. But this is where we are. And the whole idea of selling a feel-good story, it doesn't work. When the Prime Minister can come out and say, hey, using that very same instance that you brought up, Provost, let's go ahead and produce more people that foreign countries can take. All right, let's say we do that. Wouldn't it then be prudent to set up a system in which these foreign countries can borrow the talents of these individuals at a premium so that the country benefits both ways? I'm just asking, my feeble mind. I'm not one of those individuals that went to Harvard. Don't choke, Provost, don't choke. But it's ridiculous. And so the more less people ask questions, the more less people see that there's an issue, is the more you'll get reports like this. It's more that times that you'll find comparisons like this that make you really wonder what is going on. And it is the more that you'll hear the story. Nah, man, them people are just bad mind. That is why them talk. So
yeah, in the chat we're seeing people are raising the issue of nurses as well. And it's true. Give me one second.
Even with that, the issue of the nurses. Any country that can save lives without the necessary means on a level of which Jamaica has done it, not say that in a level that they are doing it, the level that they have done it. Because we had some of the best healthcare professionals found anywhere. The mere fact that that can be done, they don't have the machinery to do some of the things that our healthcare professionals have done, but yet still they made it happen. It can only be great things that these individuals will go elsewhere where they do have the machinery to aid them, that they can do, because they're coming with a level of knowledge that it will far surpass anything or anyone out there. And what have we done? We have dishonored them. We have dishonored our teachers. We've dishonored our healthcare professionals, and we've dishonored our security professionals. So what are we left with? Come on, you back, Provost?
Yeah. See, we're the same thing happened with the Ministry of Health, where they weren't paying the nurses a livable wage. And there was a mass exodus, and there may very well still be mass exodus because they're not being paid a livable wage. They can't afford to feed their families and live productive lives in Jamaica, so they go elsewhere. There's a school not too far from it. A lot of Jamaican teachers are there, and given the choice between coming here and dealing with the weather and all the other problems attendant to living in the United States, they'd rather stay at home. But the choice is no choice. You know, they can't stay at home. They have to leave. And the interesting thing is, once they get to a certain age and people start realizing that the best years are behind them, they yearn to go back home. But go back home to what? Go back home to what? So that's where we are. But people, I want you to remember that video we just played. And if you want us to play it every week, we will play it every week, because it's a primer on understanding the economic situation in Jamaica, and that despite how them pretty it up and they'll tell you it's a Ferrari, when you fly the hood, you'll see that it's a lawnmower engine inside that Ferrari. Don't let them fool you. And if you notice, they will never drive the car. They'll just show it to you and say, look how the car pretty. It's a very nice car, but they'll never let you drive the car, because you'll find out that, no, wait a minute, something is wrong here. It's not moving like a Ferrari, you know, it's moving like a bicycle, or worse, a tricycle. But
this is the other thing. The amount of professionals or experienced individuals who are partaking on this platform. So there are listeners, there are commenters, contributors. Here you have Anne-Marie P., over 20 years in nursing, wants to go back to Jamaica to help, to apply that knowledge, to apply that experience, and can't do it, can't bring herself to doing it. Can you imagine how many more people like that are out there? Well, here we have the provost. I won't bring them again, because we all know the story. But even when you give it away for free, some things, let's face it, they won't accept some people coming back either, because it shows up some inefficiencies, and it will show up where individuals should have been looked at and things need to be addressed. So that is the other side of the coin. You can't have individuals that have left and have seen the light coming back to incite revolt, because that's exactly what would happen. But that is what needs to happen, and we need to make it happen.